Bonsoir tout le monde. Welcome everyone to the first council meeting of 2023. Welcome to the regular, it's a regular council meeting for the city of Westmount from Monday, January 16th, 2023. Bienvenue au premier conseil pour le 16 janvier 2023. I think we're going to start with a few updates from council members. So we will start with Councillor Kez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just have a little piece of information. The SPVM are in dire need of crossing guards to monitor our school children who cross at intersections on their way to and from school. If anyone, including our retirees, is interested and available during the school year and would like to have a little supplemental income by getting involved in our community, I invite you to contact the SPVM directly at Station 12 on Stanton or by sending an email, which we have an email address, which we can put it on our website or let anyone who's interested just come and ask to where you'd like to send an email.
Okay, thank you very much. An important job in the community. Thank you, Councillor Kez. Councillor Aronson.
Well, no updates here this week.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Gallery.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good evening, everyone. Happy New Year. Two quick updates based on the season of winter. Very happy to announce that all our rinks, outdoor rinks, are open. And our toboggan run at KGP is open as well. I went by it today. It looks fabulous. Thank you so much to the Public Works Department. It's a great place to go. And if you haven't seen it, you'll be pleasantly surprised. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Bostock.
Good evening. Just to let you know that actually 66% of the snow has been cleared already in the city since our snowfall on Friday. So the plan is that according to the schedule, we should be done by Wednesday. So thank you to our Public Works Department for getting out there and clearing the snow and our sidewalks for the community. Very much appreciated.
Thank you very much. Councillor Roux. Oh, sorry, Councillor Shammy first.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. As Commissioner of Westmount Hydro, I just want to shout out to all the residents during this winter season. Remember, reduce your electricity consumption during cold weather. Frigid winter weather increases the demand, of course, on our electrical grid, potentially leading to overload circuits and power interruptions. Heavy penalties are charged to the city of Westmount for overconsumption. That's why Hydro Westmount asks all customers to reduce electricity use when the temperature dips to -18, especially during peak periods. And ladies and gentlemen, peak periods are 6 to 9 a.m. and 4 to 8. So like, putting off your dishwasher, your hot water, laundry machines, again, it's sustainable, it's cost effective, and it's smart. And just shouting out to everyone to remember what to do when it's so cold out. Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Shammy. Councillor Roux.
Yes, so Happy New Year to all residents. Health, happiness, peace, and may you be delighted with the services you receive from your city. So first, a note of pride for all Westmounters. There's a publication called Drift that came out with the list of the 6 best libraries to study in Canada. And well, I'm very happy to say that our library was on that short list of 6, and they were bang on. They talked about the architecture, the quality of what's in the library. But finally, they say what sets the Westmount Public Library apart, it's its friendly and knowledgeable staff. They are always happy to help and are invaluable resources for all your reading needs. So I thought that was great. So more to the point of what's going on at the library and Victoria Hall. The McIntyre competition is back. So Westmount elementary and secondary students are invited to enter the 2023 McIntyre writing competition by writing a story, a poem, an essay about exploration in the context of the community. The deadline for submission is Sunday, March 26th. So I encourage all young Westmounters to participate. It's really something great that the city's been putting together now for more than 50 years. Aussi, dans le cadre du carnaval d'hiver, il va y avoir la soirée pyjama à Victoria Hall à 19h le 3 février. C'est pour toute la famille avec des enfants de 5 ans et plus. Alors, vous venez en pyjama et ils vont présenter le film. Voyons, ça y est, bravo Elisabeth. Pardon me? Good year, good year? Buzz Lightyear. Thank you. How could I forget Buzz Lightyear? I'm so sorry about that. Kids have grown. OK. Et puis finalement, il y a une exposition à Victoria Hall qui a commencé la semaine dernière. C'est une exposition solo de Madame Feng Su. Et c'est vraiment magnifique. Alors, je vous invite à aller faire un tour. Merci.
Merci beaucoup. Councillor D'Amico.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Madam Mayor, I've received some questions regarding the budget, so I will be working with the administration to prepare an FAQ to address some of the questions and some of the presentation issues that were raised. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And for any citizens who are watching or listening at home, just before the holidays on December 19th, 18th, we passed the city's budget for 2023. And we welcome any feedback, any questions on that. And we have heard some questions. So that's what Councillor D'Amico is talking about, that we will answer them for all in case others may be thinking the same thing. And there was a difference in how we presented it. We wanted to make it a little bit more, as Mr. Fretz, who's here tonight, is one of our frequent attendees to the budget. Not many are. So we wanted to make it more digestible to residents so that they could see really where the costs were split, how much is going to the aglo, what's being spent on capital works projects, things like that. So we looked at a different format, a different way of communicating it, and I think we're going to I know that we will continue to build on that, because it's very important that residents understand where their tax dollars are going. And in the questions and answers, you will see that there is an increase in local spending. And I'd rather actually phrase it as an investment in local spending. And we consistently get asked for an improvement obviously in the infrastructure, but also in terms of maintenance in parks in particular. And that takes people to do it. Parks, roads, commercial sectors, things like that, and to communicate and all different areas, but in particular around the work that Public Works does. So you will see an increase in spending in that department. And we have a lot, there's no way around it. We have a lot of work that needs to get done in this city. And I think we are very much a council that is committed to doing that work. So we welcome your feedback. We welcome your questions, and you will, in a couple of weeks, be getting your tax bill. With that comes a tax letter, which explains some of the expenditures, explains what we're facing as well in terms of challenges with contracts. We have, significant, far beyond the rate of inflation, significant increases in some of our contracts, and some of our we have very significant supply chain issues that that anyone who's running a business would also been experiencing, and this fluctuation, and we have to deliver a balanced budget. So we have to live in a world of a balanced budget. So this is, I feel, a responsible budget and an investment in the city of Westmount. So if anyone else has any, I don't know if Councillor D'Amico has any further comments on that, but look for his Q&A, where he has collected all of the questions. And if you have any more, feel free to email Councillor D'Amico or myself, and we will be happy to include them. And there's lots of very technical aspects to a budget that we're hoping to be able to communicate effectively with citizens so that they understand it a little bit more. So on that note, we will begin with question period. So we'll start with any questions in the room, and then we'll go to those submitted online. No questions? Okay, I think we did get a few questions online, or maybe one or two. Maître Ferland?
We received one question from Mr. Denis Biro. Early last year, Councillor Perch stated in council that more work was being done in 2022 on the updating of renovation guidelines, a process started more than 6 years ago. Can residents have an update on what was accomplished in 2022 and what is planned for 2023?
Thank you, Mr. Bureau, for your question. I think Councillor Peart would like to answer that with some more details.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Smith, and I do thank you again, Mr. Bureau, for your questions and for your continued pressure and holding us accountable for the things that we do say. It's taking longer than we planned. I wish we were further ahead, but we've run into some challenges, some largest, of course, the same challenges that everybody else was facing during the pandemic, where where the city was had to assign, we're short on resources and as such had to be very specific and decide where we could put resources, and we didn't have the resources. Frankly, we didn't have the resources, human resources, to assign dedicated people to that task. But going forward, we have new resources on hand. We have a new, or fairly newish director of urban planning in place. And they've come back with a strategy. And one of the most important things that we need to do, which is now in play for 2023, is the development of a building inventory, a heritage inventory of what's actually built around Westmount. Before we can really undertake a rewriting or review of our guideline or bylaws and guideline packages, we really have to have a better understanding of the actual state on the ground, the true nature of all of our building stock around Westmount. And part of this exercise going forward will be to do a very detailed inventory, building by building, knowing facade by facade, and having a very good database upon which we can base our new set of rules. Because in the past, it's been kind of a high level review of our character areas and the features and the standards across or territory. And as we've discovered over the years and decades even, that high level doesn't really match the granularity which is needed for a territory with buildings as varied as we do have. And so the most important step, and it's the next step, and it's planned for 2023, is to start that heritage inventory. And with that will really formulate the keystone to the next step, which will be the review and revision of our bylaws. But I invite you, and I know I don't have to invite you because I know you're going to be back either in person or writing. Come back, please, and press us and keep us and hold our feet to the fire, because this is something that is, I know this effort is shared around by all my peers around this semicircle. We are all vested in making sure that our bylaws and our regulations are the best that they can be, and that they're really well matched to the territory that we're all happy to live in.
Thank you very much.
Yes, no more questions.
Perfect. So we will now move to the regular part of the agenda. Avec numéro 4, l'adoption de l'ordre du jour, the adoption of the agenda with some modifications. Councillor Peart.
Thank you, Madame la Mayoress. I move that the agenda of the regular council sitting on January 16th, 2023 be adopted with the removal of the following items. Item 12, call for public tenders, professional engineering services for the demolition of the former incinerator and the replacement program, PUD-2022-056. 15, call for public tenders, cancellation of the call for public tenders, PUD-2022-057.
Thank you very much. Do I have a seconder on that? Councillor Shammy, thank you. All in favor? Carried. The next item is again, Councillor Peart, the confirmation of minutes, item number 5.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the minutes of the special and regular council sittings held on December 19th of 2022 be approved.
Thank you very much. A seconder on that will again be Councillor Shammy. All in favor? Carried. Item number 6, reports to council, rapport au Conseil, 6.1, la correspondance. Les documents suivants sont déposés. La liste des règlements adoptés à l'Assemblée ordinaire du Conseil d'agglomération du 22 décembre 2022. Le règlement RCG 140294 de la Ville de Montréal intitulé Règlement modifiant le schéma d'aménagement et de développement de l'agglomération de Montréal, RCG 14029, ses annexes A et B, ainsi que la résolution CG 220800 adaptant le dit règlement. Bylaw RCG 14-029-5 of the Ville de Montréal entitled Règlement modifiant le schéma d'aménagement et développement de l'agglomération de Montréal, RCG 14-029, its annexes A and B, as well as the resolution CG 220799 adopting said bylaw, and bylaw 22-101 of the Communauté métropolitaine de Montréal entitled Règlement numéro 2022-101, modifiant le règlement de contrôle intérimaire de la Communauté métropolitaine de Montréal numéro 2022-97 concernant les secteurs présentent un potentiel de reconversion en espace vert ou en milieu naturel, as well as resolution CC 22038 adopting said bylaw, the public notice of the Côte-des-Neiges Notre-Dame-de-Grâce Borough for the public consultation meeting on the draft bylaw amending the master plan of the City of Montreal, Crowley-DeCarey, detailed planning area, file number 12262900052, the draft of said bylaw, as well as an extract from the minutes of the Borough Council meeting adopting said draft bylaw. 6.2, le rapport de la main-d'œuvre, Councillor Shammy.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Les rapports de main-d'œuvre pour le mois de novembre et de décembre 2022 sont déposés.
Thank you very much. 6.3, le registre des paiements, le conseiller Demico.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Les listes des paiements pour les mois d'octobre et novembre 2022 sont déposées.
Merci beaucoup. 6.4, liste d'approbation en vertu du règlement 1507, Councillor Shammy.
Conformément au règlement 1507 sur la délégation des pouvoirs à certains employés de la Ville de Westmount, les listes d'autorisation de dépenses pour les mois d'octobre et novembre 2022 sont déposées.
Thank you. 6.5, list of duties on transfer invoices, Councillor Demico.
The lists of duties on transfers for the month of December 2022 are tabled.
Thank you. 6.6, le dépôt des déclarations d'intérêt pécuniaire, le greffier de la Ville, Monsieur Maître Ferland.
Oui, Madame la mairesse, conformément aux dispositions de l'article 358 de la loi sur les élections et référendums dans les municipalités, je confirme que vous-même, Madame la mairesse, ainsi que les conseillères Anitra M. Bostock, Mary Gallery, Kathleen Kez et Elisabeth Roux, ainsi que les conseillers Matt Aronson, Antonio D'Amico, Conrad Peart et Jeff G. Shammy ont déposé leur déclaration d'intérêt pécuniaire.
Merci beaucoup. Item number 7, adoption of council's position on the items to be submitted to the Montreal Urban Agglomeration Council. Councillor Peart.
Merci, Madame la mairesse. Je propose que la mairesse ou, en son absence, le maire suppléant soit autorisé à prendre toute décision qu'elle jugera opportune à l'égard des sujets inscrits à l'ordre du jour de la séance du Conseil d'agglomération de Montréal devant se tenir le 26 janvier 2023 et ce, dans le meilleur intérêt de la Ville de Westmount et de ses résidents.
Merci beaucoup. And après ça, Conseiller Shammy, all in favor? Carried. Item number 8, participation of council members in a conference. Councillor Shammy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that a maximum expenditure of $7,000 before taxes or $3,500 per member of council be authorized in order to allow Councillors Mary Gallery and Councillor Matthew Aronson to participate in the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Sustainable Communities Conference 2023 that will take place in Ottawa, February 7th to February 10th, 2023, and that the City of Westmount be authorized to reimburse the members of council mentioned above upon presentation of their invoices and proof of payment, a maximum amount of $7,000 with regards to the Federation of Canadian Municipalities Sustainable Communities Conference 2023.
Thank you very much. A seconder on this will be Councillor D'Amico. Any further comments? It's an FCM conference that will focus on sustainability, so both Councillor Aronson and Gallery are interested in participating. All in favor? Carried. Do they, Maître Ferland, do they vote? Est-ce que les deux conseillers votent sur ça? Oui?
Oui, il n'y a pas d'intérêt pécuniaire en jeu.
Okay, perfect. So they, all in favor? Moved, thank you. Item number 9, request for proposals, negotiation collective agreement between the city of Westmount and the Syndicat des fonctionnaires municipaux de Montréal. Councillor Shammy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $53,890.08, including tax credits for the negotiations for the collective agreement between the city of Westmount and the Syndicat des fonctionnaires municipaux de Montréal, SCFP. And to award to Faskin Martineau Dumoulin the contract for this purpose in accordance with this proposal for a maximum amount of $59,016.67, including taxes, the whole in conformity with the contractual documents of the request for proposals, and to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information included in the decision-making file number 2023-1787.
Thank you very much. A seconder on this will be Councillor Roux. Any further comments? This is the legal support for the contract negotiations. No? Okay, all in favor? Carried. Item number 10 is Councillor Gallery, call for tenders by invitation, arboricultural work phase 2, King George Park.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Sorry, invoice 2022-021. Sorry.
I move to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $58,950.48, including tax credits for the arboricultural work phase 2, King George Park, tender by invitation number INV-2022-021, to award to Arbo Design Inc. the contract for this purpose at its bid price for a maximum amount of $64,558.46, including taxes, the whole in conformity with the contractual documents of the call for tenders by invitation, INV-2022-021, to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information included in the decision-making file number 2022-1716.
Thank you very much. A seconder on this will be Councillor Bostock. Any further comments?
Yes, this was work that was done. This is a payment, sorry, for work that was done in King George Park in fall of 2022.
Okay, so the work has already been completed. Councillor Roux, I think, had a comment as well.
Well, essentially what Councillor Gallery was saying, but also to say that I'm concerned with what we'll be doing in regards to the tree felling and replanting and Murray Park from here on in. And I do hope and I trust that we're going to examine the best way forward.
Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Item number, where are we? Item number 11, call for public tenders, preventative maintenance and repair of HVAC systems. Councillor Bostock.
I move to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $116,136.50, including tax credits for the 2023 fiscal year for the preventative maintenance and repair of HVAC systems, tender number PUB 2022-050, to award to Morrison Air Conditioning, Inc. the contract for this purpose at its bid price for a maximum amount of $255,864.42, including taxes, the whole in conformity with the contractual documents for the call for tenders PUB 2022-050, and to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information included in the decision-making file number 2022-1721.
Thank you very much. Councillor D'Amico would like to second that. I personally like the term preventative maintenance.
Yes. It's a good thing.
That excites me when I see descriptions such as that. Any further comments on this from anyone?
No, it's a sort of a 2-year commitment, so it's
Okay.
good.
Perfect, thank you. All in favor? Item number 12 was pulled from the agenda. Item number 13, call for public tenders. Oh, no, that was item 13, sorry.
No.
Oh, no, that's another one. Call for public tenders, preventative maintenance and repair of heating systems. Again, Councillor Bostock.
I move to authorize an expenditure in the amount of $53,701.11, including tax credits for the 2023 fiscal year for the preventative maintenance and repair of heating systems, tender number PUB 2022-058, to award to Knox Energy, Inc. the contract for this purpose at its bid price for a maximum amount of $178,774.65, including taxes, the whole in conformity with the contractual documents of the call for tenders, PUB 2022-058, and to allocate this expenditure in accordance with the financial information included in the decision-making file number 2022-1767.
Thank you very much. A seconder on this, Councillor Gallery. Any further comments on this preventative maintenance as well?
More preventative maintenance, that's it.
Perfect. All in favor? Carried. Item number 14, modification to a contract, Bank of Hours, McCarthy Tatro. Councillor Shammy.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I move that the contract awarded to McCarthy Tatro LLP for legal services to the city of Westmount, Resolution 2022-07-183, be modified and extended, and that an additional expenditure be authorized in the amount of $57,487.50, including taxes for an additional bank of hours for said contract, and to allocate the expenditure in accordance with the financial information included in the decision-making file number 2023-1785.
Thank you. Councillor D'Amico will second this. Any further comments? All in favor? Carried. Item number 15, call for tenders, cancellation of the call for public tenders. And this is Councillor Peart.
Thank you, Madam Mayor.
Le point a été retiré. C'est bien le
Oh,
point.
15 was pulled, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
That was not, that's why it's, sorry. Item 16, adoption of bylaw 1593 to establish tariffs for the 2023 fiscal year. L'adoption règlement 1593 visant à établir les tarifs pour l'exercice financier 2023. Monsieur le greffier.
Je signale, Madame la mairesse, que des copies du règlement ont été remises à tous les membres du Conseil et mises à la disposition du public en temps opportun. L'objet de ce règlement est d'établir les tarifs et les frais d'utilisation à percevoir pour l'exercice financier 2023.
Merci beaucoup. Est-ce que je peux avoir une déclaration de la part de chaque membre du Conseil présent à la fait qu'il ou elle a lu le règlement? Thank you. Councillor D'Amico. Thank you. And a seconder on that will be Councillor Shammy as chairman of the FNA. Any further comments on this, Councillor D'Amico? No? All in favor? Carried. I declare that bylaw 1593 entitled bylaw to establish tariffs for the 2023 fiscal year having been duly adopted. It is ordered that notices be given according to law, required by law, excuse me. Item number 17, bylaw 1594 on the transfer duties. Monsieur le greffier encore.
Alors, je signale toujours, Madame la mairesse, que des copies du règlement ont été remises à tous les membres du Conseil et mises à la disposition du public en temps opportun. L'objet de ce règlement est d'ajouter une 5e et 6e tranche à l'imposition des droits de mutation à partir du 1er janvier 2023.
Merci beaucoup.
Je signale également, Madame la mairesse, que des modifications ont été apportées au projet de règlement à l'article 2. Alors, le paragraphe 5 a été modifié afin de réduire le maximum de la base d'imposition. Le paragraphe 6 a été ajouté afin d'inclure une 6e tranche. Une copie de ces modifications est mise à la disposition du public.
Merci beaucoup. Est-ce que je peux avoir la déclaration de la part de chaque membre du Conseil présent à la fait qu'il ou elle a lu le règlement? So declared. Councillor D'Amico. Merci beaucoup. Councillor Peart, I'm sure would like to second this. Do you have any further comments or that you want on this? No? All in favor? I declare that bylaw 1594 entitled bylaw, that's the where am I here? 17. That bylaw 1594 entitled the bylaw on transfer duties having been duly adopted is ordered that notices be given as required by law. Item number 18, adoption bylaw 1595 to impose and levy a tax and compensation for the 2023 fiscal year. On call, Monsieur le greffier.
Alors, je signale toujours, Madame la mairesse, que des copies du règlement ont été remises à tous les membres du conseil et mises à la disposition du public en temps opportun. L'objet de ce règlement est d'imposer et de prélever une taxe et une compensation pour l'exercice financier 2023.
Thank you very much. Can I have the declaration by each member of council that he or she has read the bylaw? And now it is back over to Councillor D'Amico again.
2023 fiscal year be adopted.
And a seconder on this will be Councillor Peart. Any further comments? I think we've commented on this publicly. Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Item number 19, bylaw 1489, adoption of a second draft of a resolution 1 to 3 Hillside. Councillor Gallery.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. This is a rather long one, so bear with me. Attendu que le règlement 1489 sur les projets particuliers de construction, de modification ou d'occupation d'un immeuble PPC-moi de la ville de Westmount permet au conseil municipal, selon certains critères et sous réserve de conditions qu'il détermine, d'autoriser un PPC-moi sur le territoire de la ville de Westmount. Attendu qu'une demande a été déposée en vertu du règlement 1489 pour le bâtiment situé au 1-3 avenue Hillside, situé sur le lot 4142847 du cadastre du Québec. Attendu que toute demande de PPC-moi doit, pour être autorisée, respecter les objectifs du plan d'urbanisme de la ville de Westmount. Attendu que le comité consultatif d'urbanisme a formulé une recommandation favorable pour le projet lors de sa réunion du 18 octobre 2022. Attendu que la ville de Westmount a adopté un premier projet de résolution en date de 21 novembre 2022, résolution numéro 2022-11-290. Attendu que suite à l'adoption de la résolution précitée, le public a été invité à participer à une assemblée publique de consultation le 13 décembre 2022. I move, Madam Mayor, that the above preamble be made an integral part of this resolution, that the City of Westmount adopt pursuant to bylaw 1489 entitled Bylaw Concerning Specific Construction, Alteration, or Occupancy Proposals for an Immovable, otherwise known as SCOPE, of the City of Westmount, a second draft resolution to grant the application for authorization for a specific construction, alteration, or occupancy project for an immovable bearing the civic address 1-3 Hillside Avenue on lot 4142847 of the Quebec Cadastre, hereinafter referred to as the immovable. That the second draft resolution thus adopted have the following effect on the immovable. A, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the City of Westmount entitled Zoning Bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the maximum height of 3 stories permitted for a building appearing in the physical and spatial specifications grid for the zone R6-34-14 of the zoning plan, a building with a maximum height of 6 stories, including the story of an above roof structure for mechanical equipment and for roof access. B, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the City of Westmount entitled Zoning Bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the imposed dimension of 35 feet 0 inches for the maximum height of a building appearing in the physical and spatial specifications grid for zone R6-34-14 of the zoning plan, a building with a maximum height of 77 feet 0 inches. C, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the City of Westmount entitled Zoning Bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the maximum floor area ratio of 2 allowed in the physical and spatial specifications grid for zone R6-34-14 of the zoning plan, a floor area ratio of 3.7. D, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the City of Westmount entitled Zoning Bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the maximum site ratio of 65% permitted in the physical and spatial specifications grid for zone R6-34-14 of the zoning plan, a a site ratio of 83%. E, grant a variance to subdivision 5.2.3 of bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing the placement of the front wall facing Hillside Avenue at a minimum distance of 6 feet 0 inches from the front lot line and the placement of the underground parking lot at a distance of up to 0 feet 0 inches from said front lot line, whereas an open space of 10 feet 0 inches is required between the building line on Hillside Avenue and the front lot line. F, grant a variance to subdivision 5.2.3 of bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing the placement of front stairs facing Hillside Avenue up to 0 feet 0 inches from the front lot line, whereas a minimum distance of 6 feet 0 inches from the front lot line is required. G, grant a variance to subdivision 5.2.3 of bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing the placement of the building at a minimum distance of 8 feet 0 inches at the rear wall of the turret from the rear lot line and a minimum distance of 11 feet 0 inches at the main rear wall from said rear lot line, whereas a minimum open space of 35 feet 0 inches is required in the case of a rear wall of more than 45 feet 0 inches. H, grant a variance to section 5.5.9.2 of bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing a minimum percentage of vegetated area of 41% in the rear yard, while vegetated areas must occupy at least 60% of the rear yard area. I, grant a variance to section 5.5.9.2 of bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing a minimum percentage of planted area of 63% in the front yard, whereas planted areas must occupy at least 70% in the front yard area. J, grant a variance to section 5.5.3.4 of bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing a driveway with a maximum width of 18 feet 2 inches, while the maximum driveway width is 10 feet 0 inches. The whole, according to the plan submitted and the information contained in the decision-making files numbered 2022-1732 and 2023-1784, subject to the following conditions. One, that an agreement between the applicant and the city regarding the relocation of the transformers be finalized prior to the issuance of the building permit, and that in the event that the transformers are relocated to the immovable, that a basement clearance be provided to allow for the installation. If necessary, the modified basement plans must be submitted before the building permit is issued. Two, that the electrical chamber in the basement be arranged to accommodate the relocation of the Hydro Westmount transformers as stated in condition 1. 3, that evidence of the applicant's commitment to make best efforts to achieve silver LEED certification be submitted prior to permit issuance.
Thank you very much, Councillor Gallery. A seconder on this will be Councillor Peart. Any further comments? I think it's a fairly comprehensive.
It's the second resolution, so it's part of the process of giving these applicants their permits.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. All in favor? Carried. Item bylaw 1489, adoption of the final resolution 4216 Dorchester. Councillor Peart.
Merci, Madame la Mairesse. I will read the whereases because this is a particular project. Whereas the minutes of the regular meeting of the Planning Advisory Committee, PAC, held on January 25th of 2022, were tabled at the council sitting on February 7th of 2022, and the minutes of the special meeting of the PAC held on August 18th of 2022 were tabled at the council sitting of September 6th of 2022. Whereas the main role of the Planning Advisory Committee is to analyze and give an opinion on any requests that must be submitted to it in accordance with the Land Use Planning and Development Act, CQLR, C18, excuse me, 18-19.1, example, SPAIP, minor exemption, SCOPE, conditional uses, etc., and on any other application in matters of land use, planning, and development that is submitted to it by council. Whereas bylaw 1489 concerning specific construction, alteration, or occupancy proposals for an immovable SCOPE of the city of Westmount allows the municipal council, upon request, according to certain criteria and subject to the conditions it determines, to authorize the Scope on the territory of the city of Westmount. Whereas in order to be approved, all Scope applications must comply with the objectives of the city of Westmount's master plan. Whereas the city of Westmount has adopted a first draft resolution dated September 19th of 2022, resolution number 2022-09-230. Whereas following the adoption of the aforementioned resolution, the public was invited to attend a public consultation meeting on October 24th of 2022. Whereas the city of Westmount has adopted a second draft resolution dated December 5th of 2022, resolution number 2022-12-307. Whereas following a public notice dated December 13th of 2022, the city has not received applications to take part in a referendum. I move that the above preamble be made an integral part of this resolution, that the city of Westmount adopt pursuant to bylaw 1489 entitled Bylaw Concerning Specific Construction, Alteration or Occupancy Proposals for Immovable Scope of the city of Westmount, a final resolution to grant the application for authorization for specific construction, alteration, or occupancy project for an immovable bearing the civic address 4216 Dorchester Boulevard on lot 4142956 of the Quebec Cadaster, hereinafter the immovable. That the final resolution thus adopted have the following effect on the immovable. A, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the imposed dimension of 35 feet 0 inches for the maximum height of a building appearing in the physical and spatial specifications grid for zone R6-35-01 of the zoning plan, a building of approximately 59 feet 0 inches in height. Excuse me. B, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the maximum height of 3 stories authorized for a building appearing in the physical and spatial specifications grid for zone R6-35-01 of the zoning plan, a building of 5 stories in height. C, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the maximum floor area ratio of 2 allowed in the physical and spatial specifications grid for zone R6-35-01 of the zoning plan, a floor area ratio of 2.31. D, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the maximum site ratio of 65% permitted in the physical and spatial specifications grid for zone R6-35-01 of the zoning plan, a site ratio of 66%. E, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the prohibition on encroachment into the space between a street and the building line set out in subdivision 5.2.3, an underground parking area in the 12-foot 0-inch space between the street and the building line. F, grant a variance to bylaw number 1303 of the city of Westmount entitled zoning bylaw by allowing, notwithstanding the 22-foot 0-inch length requirement for the maneuvering area between or in front of parking spaces required in section 5.5.3.2, a maneuvering area of 19-foot 3.5 inches to 21-foot 7.25 inch for parking spaces numbered 1 through 5. The whole, according to the plan submitted and in accordance with the information contained in the decision-making files number 2022-1672 and 2023-1781, and subject to the following conditions. 1, finalize an agreement between the applicant and the city prior to the issuance of a building permit for the community located on the immovable in order that such space be made available in perpetuity for public use and maintained by the current or future owners of the site at no cost to the city or the general community. That the present authorization given by the municipal council does not have the effect of exempting the applicant from having to obtain, if necessary, any other permit, certificate, authorization, or approval which could be required according to the law or the municipal bylaws for the completion of the project.
Thank you very much. A seconder on this will be Councillor Gallery. Any further comments on a very comprehensive motion?
None that I could add to any of those whereases.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor is Councillor for the district? No, all is a comprehensive.
Listen to the residents, heard them. They had 2 scoping meetings where residents had an opportunity and they were voiced. And I'm happy that some of the things that were voiced were addressed.
Perfect. Thank you.
Let's move forward.
All in favor? Carried. Item number 21, tabling of the Planning Advisory Committee minutes. Again, Councillor Peart.
Merci, Madame la Mairesse. I will dispense with the whereases in this one. I move that the council acknowledge and accept the minutes of the Planning Advisory Committee regular meeting for the month of December 2022, held on December 13th and December 15th of 2022.
Thank you. Councillor Gallery will second. All in favor? Carried. Item 22, again, Councillor Peart, is approval of site planning and architectural integration programs.
Merci, Madame la Mairesse. I move that the municipal council act on the opinions of the Planning Advisory Committee, the PAC, as set out in the minutes of the regular meeting for the month of December 2022, and adopt for each of them the site planning and architectural integration programs conditions for the issuance of a permit as listed in items CCU 22-12.01, CCU 22-12.03, CCU 22-12.04, CCU 22-12.09, CCU 22-12.12, CCU 22-12.15 to CCU 22-12.17 and CCU 22-12.20 to CCU 22-12.22, CCU 22-12.25, CCU 22-12.26, and CCU 22-12.28 of the agenda of the regular PAC meeting held on December 13th and December 15th of 2022.
Thank you very much. A seconder on this will be Councillor Gallery. Any permits of note? in
There
this?
were 13 permits in this batch. 8 of those are doors and windows. 4 of them are exterior renovations, and there's one addition over 40 square meters, which has been previously approved, but this is a second go around.
Perfect. All in favor? Carried. Now we will move to our second round of question period. If there's any questions in the room or online. If we have a question in the room, Mr. Fretz.
Yes, good evening, Madam Mayor and Council, and, welcome to 2023. Maybe I missed it somewhere, but, Madam Mayor, what is the increase in our municipal taxes? Is it 6.1% or?
Overall, it is for a single family home, the average increase is 6.4%. So but that doesn't mean everybody's tax bill will increase by 6.4%. Councillor D'Amico may want to explain further, but there'll be some people who have lower tax bills, higher tax bills and lower tax bills. Councillor D'Amico, your mic, just so that the people listening online can hear.
So I'm sure, as you know, your property tax bill consists of really 2 numbers, which is the evaluation and the mill rate.
Yeah,
So each situation will depend on those 2 criteria.
okay, great.
But if we look at the single family home, an average one,
Yeah.
that would be the amount, yes.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's
So that is 6.4 and the rate of inflation for this year is 6.
About 6.7, so we are below the rate of inflation.
Okay, thank you. No further questions? Any questions online?
No questions online.
Thank you very much for this first meeting of 2023, and the meeting is adjourned.